how to sell high ticket VIP packages. So I sell 40K and now they're 50K VIP weekends with me around the world. And these weekends are like an experience that you've never had before. They are otherworldly. They are unlike any one-to-one weekend I've ever seen done. Because as I've been letting Freedom Queen evolve, and as I take it to a company that's multi 8 figures, a 9-figure brand, I am taking customer experience, depth to another level. Because I know that in our service-based businesses, right, or our mentorship companies, this work is about people to people. It's about connection. And for me and my company, I run things differently. Other people might value more hands off. They might value more passive. They might value more, I don't want to talk to anyone, just want to make a bunch of money. That's not why I started Freedom Queen. I love people. I love connection. I love relationships. I love depth with clients. And luxury experiences is ultimately about seeing people. That's what luxury is. Yeah, you do want to have a nice, clean setting. It doesn't need to be total entropy. You want it to be intentional, clean, crisp. I can see why you intentionally planned it like this, right? But luxury is more so beyond the intention about seeing the person as the person beyond how they see themselves. Luxury is not about a number, it's about the person. And so I take that very seriously as I scale the business to a multi 8-figure, 9-figure company. I'm thinking of Freedom Queen as high-end depth, person to person, because when I think about the through line of how I built Freedom Queen in the first place, it came from that. The heart of being a Freedom Queen is seeing other women and waking them up to what is possible for them, no matter what industry you're in. And so when I sell these weekends, I'm selling this from a place of this is who you can become as a result of flying around the world to another country, staying in beautiful, the best of the best hotels, being treated like a queen, loving what they're doing, developing their business. I'm actually getting emotional as I'm just saying this. I was at a business event last weekend at the Four Seasons in Costa Rica, and I met this guy. He's like, he knows Alex Hermosi, and everyone in there was a 9-figure company. And he said to me, as I was telling him what I do, and I was telling about these weekends, my conference, and he said, wow, you have an amazing business. And I wrote it down because it really made me think, you get so used to your company because it's your world that it's normal. And then from the outside, someone looking in, it's like, whoa, whoa, that is so great. And so I was telling about these VIP weekends, but these VIP weekends are so special. And I'm not going to talk about this in this episode. However, what we practice at these VIP weekends is also what we do inside of our client work to create the connection and the depth between people. So when I sell these VIP weekends, there's something very important you need to know. I'm not selling them to people who don't want to buy them. Okay, I'm not selling them to people that lack intention. So let me give you an example. When I do a VIP weekend, let's say in Paris, we're going to stay at the beautiful Ritz. We're going to do luxury shopping, insane video shoots, mindset work, fitness, depending on how you want to build out the weekend. We'll curate the entire experience together, okay? Who is a match for that is what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking Who would look at that and say, oh, that's too much, that's too expensive, I don't want to do that. Oh my God, why would we stay in the Ritz? La-di-da, she must think she's full of herself. I'm not doing that. Just like when you fly first class Emirates isn't trying to market to economy. First class Emirates is thinking, who would gladly buy this seat? Same thing with my high ticket programs. Who would gladly buy your $100,000 offer? I really want you to sit with this because this took a minute for me to grasp it. I started grasping it in 2022. What a lot of people do is they build out this beautiful VIP weekend, retreat, 50K program, 100K program, and then they say to themselves, let me go sell this in the marketplace. But they put the offer in front of people that should not buy that offer. It's like first class Emirates going to economy and saying, buy this. So let me ask you the next question. How do you get in front of the who? Well, it's a couple ways. I'm going to tell you. One way is by creating and positioning your brand to be a match for that buyer. Well, how do you do that? Well, I know that someone that values intentionality, she's going to want to land on my feed and see a highly intentional brand. Someone that wants to pay lots and lots of money is going to value to work with someone who's also intentional. So I have a highly intentional feed. My feed does not look like I haphazardly showed up and made content. My feed does not look like I don't understand branding because I'm a branding ninja. My feed does not look like I hired the worst videographer. I hired the best. My feed does not look like I took photos from my cell phone and just slapped them up there. I'm highly intentional about how I'm showing up. I'm probably not going to invest $100,000 into someone that looks like they lack intentionality. Intentionality is a really big thing in creating trust with your audience. Would you rather hire someone who takes care of themselves and their health or not? One person's intentional and one person's not intentional. One person intentionally decides to take care of their health. The other person lacks intentionality. I was just listening to something recently where the guy said, no one intentionally decides to get overweight or to let your body go. You don't intentionally decide. It's the lack of intention that makes you that way. And so intentionality in your feed is like the most important thing because it's like a magnet. It magnetizes people because other people with higher standards will come. If you don't have high standards for yourself in your feed content, what's going to happen is people aren't going to end up wanting to buy into your brand. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? This episode I know is going to blow your mind. So this should be a paid program, paid training. So, going back to how do you attract these people that want to pay this? Well, one, you become a match for them. So your feed is positioned as a place that's highly intentional where people would want to buy from you. Two, the topics that you're having, the conversations that you're talking about are relevant to that person. Have you ever been inside of let's say you go to a conference and you walk up to one circle. And if I go up to one circle and these people are talking about woe is me, can't afford it, unhappy, unhealthy, that I'm going to leave that circle immediately. Their conversation is not of quality and intention of my standards. They don't have the same standards that I have, so I'm going to leave that circle. So the conversations that you're having on your feed matter. Are they a match for the person that she will look at your feed and go, oh my God, like, yes, I want to have those conversations. Let's go deep on that topic. If you are, this happens a lot, I see with business owners. If you are talking about a lot of, let's say, old topics that got you to where you are, but you're not letting yourself evolve, the new women that want to come work with you aren't going to come because they don't resonate with the topics that you're talking about. I remember for a long time, I only spoke about strategy, so much strategic stuff, how to do a launch, how to do this. And I realized, I thought about it, and no one told me this. I just observed it and had a conversation with myself about it. I said, I don't want to talk about strategy. Actually, most of the time, I don't care about strategy. I don't talk about that because I know what to do. So other high-level humans are also thinking the same thing. So what did I do? I started adding in more energetics, confidence, mindsets. What happened? Immediately, 50K packages sold right away. So what conversations aren't you bringing forward that you need to be having inside of your work that's making her go, who wants to spend, let's say, 100K with you? She's like, that's the level of the conversation I want to be having. That's the topics I want to talk about. And then a high-level human also needs to know that you can hold them. So this is where embodiment content, authority content, story content, whatever you want to slap a name onto it for, it's all the same thing pretty much, comes in. What have you done that shows that you can hold her? So for example, people pay me $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 because I have walked the walk that they want to walk. I have done things that most people have never done. I am ahead of them in their journey. I am putting myself out there bigger than they are. And so that creates this feeling of, I want to go with her. I want to follow her. Everyone is looking for someone to follow. They're looking for something to call them forward. And so that's where that storytelling content comes in, or the embodiment and authority content comes in. And then now you have a feed, which is a magnet to the right buyer. Instead of you going and engaging with the 500 million people's accounts, because you won't see me doing that, instead of you going and trying to poach and do these things, create a space where people walk by your store, aka your online company, and go, that. I want that. I want all of that. The feed, wow. It's like, it's so good. It's not some Canva post that you spent 3 seconds in and then you slapped it up and you don't care about the fonts and the things and all of it. It's not some video that you just uploaded and it just looks weird and the angle's off and you're not confident in it. It's like, what is happening here? It's like you intentionally planned it. You thought about it, which is a skill set that definitely needs to be developed. Thinking. Using the brain, actually questioning things. Why is that happening? Why is that doing this? I'm curious. What's going on here? Why is that working? Why is that not working? You don't need an Instagram strategy if you just watch Instagram. That's another topic. We won't go there. So when I sell these weekends, majority of the time, people come to me. They say, Bridget, I want to do a VIP Freedom Queen weekend with you. How does this work? What do we do here? How do I sign up? I say, here's the price point. Where would you like to go? I would like to go to Dubai. Okay, great. Here's the link to sign up. That's the sales conversation. So this is a conversation that when you grasp it and it lands in a really big way. And so if this landed for you, message me a link to the episode on Instagram. I would love to know if it landed for you, if you're like, wow, this was it. This was everything. And Freedom Queen, I want you to just end with this question. Are you really being the Freedom Queen? Are you really setting yourself free in your life, internally? Are you actually building out an external life that you are free in? And two, are you being the queen? And the queen has these boundaries and standards, but she's also so kind and giving and thrives on connection and service. She lives in this beautiful place and intentionally takes care of herself, but she's also ready to go to war. She's ready to fight the battle, but she's also so elegant. Are you being the freedom queen of your life? This is a question I always ask myself. It's a question I ask myself when I'm going through a big up level. It's a question I ask myself when I'm having a hard time. It's a question I ask myself when I'm thriving. It's a question I ask myself before I go meet clients. How am I really being the freedom queen? And if not, how can I be more of her? All right, I love you, freedom queen. I'll talk to you in the next one.